Banana and Bears Rugby Pod.
Oh, I like your POM, by the way. I thought you were going to come on with Werner Koch or Koch or whatever he's
Mm,
called.
Vernon
Which
Cock, no. Not yet.
not yet. Soon, possibly be a fan for it. Hey, how's it
You
going,
don't
everybody?
need... Oh, hello, everyone.
Welcome to the podcast. That was a rolling start. How you keeping? Welcome to Banana and Bears Rugby Podcast. No idea what episode it is, but it's like the 20. Is it the 20th today? 20th or is it 19th?
March
Yeah,
20th.
powerful stuff. You're all very welcome. We just had the end of the Men's Six Nations just this weekend gone, and it was, yeah, it was full of the drama that we wanted it to be. How well you're holding it together? How you where were you playing? Because you had another 70. Was it Perpignan?
Perpignan, which actually was a refixed game from the weekend that the farmers were on strike and blocked all the roads.
Right.
So, yeah, so it was a refixed game. So after last weekend, spending all of last weekend in the bus, we had to do an even longer journey this weekend. It was so long on the way back, especially like, oh my God, we didn't get back till 1:30 on the Sunday night and we were already hungover because we'd started the Paddy's Day party in the
Yeah, of
in
course.
the showers. Which was feckin' great, to be honest. Like we'd lost the weekend before, so we were kind of on a bit of a mission.
Mm.
But we stopped in Toulouse on the way down, had our captain's run in Toulouse, and sun was out. It was nice, lovely weather, and then we got there. And on Sunday morning, I got everyone up, and I taught them the Siege of Venice.
Of course you did.
Because it was Paddy's Day, obviously, and I decorated the bus, and we had good old crack, even though I was sweating. I was like, I can't play a rugby match after this. Like, I hope I'm not the fault of us losing now, because everyone would have been sweating all morning and then dehydrated by the time we played. I played like shite then as well, so maybe it's just the Siege of Venice took it out of me more so than anyone else. But we played and we won, and it was really good. 2 red cards. I've
Stop.
never I've never seen, like, I've seen a few scuffles. I've never seen a fight like we had on the pitch the other
Go
day.
on, go on,
Red
go on, go
card.
on. Tell us this now. This is right exciting stuff.
I don't actually know what the first swing was, but it was from the other team. And then one of our girls responded like flailing arms and kicking legs. Like, she ended up on the floor. It's like the way I used to fight my brother when I was really small, and like kicking your legs up like because she was like fucking fucked over by your one, and she was like, oh, I never seen the likes of it. So we played with 14 players each. Which actually was nice. It gave us a good bit of extra space then to
That's lovely. That's lovely now. Stretch the legs,
yeah,
girls. This is great.
yeah, but I played like shite. I was wrecked as well. My back isn't great, so it definitely wasn't 100%, but it's fine. Like, happy with the win, and everyone was very happy then with we've kind of had, it's a very young team, so we're trying, it's a struggle to kind of get like things like accountability and focus and engagement and things like that going. So like we have a few things to work on culture wise, and like they've never, like, I literally bought everyone a tiny little green hat,
Yes.
and straight away when everyone was out of the shower, handed them the green hat and handed them a beer, and I was like, drink the beer now, like,
Yeah.
and obviously not saying it to the ones who don't drink. Like, obviously if they don't drink, I don't give them the
Drink,
beer. I'm not
bitch. What's your problem?
Well, we never do that. We
Yeah, of
never
course.
do that. And like, to be honest, do you know the way I never did it with Ireland either, and I always felt like we were missing out on that. You know the way like the men, they'd go into each other's dressing rooms and have beers together.
Mm.
I'd love to have done that. We never ever did that. I don't even know if the girls do it now. I don't think it's a thing.
Listen, I'm just
So
basing that based on the kind of fight your friend just had on the ground. She brought her legs to the fucking party. Nobody does like, normally it's supposed to be handbags. Like, you see the men just swing out at you because they're terrified to throw a punch these days. This one, your one started.
yeah, well, there was no TMO down in Perpignan either, so
Your
she just
one
went.
went full fucking ground control, fucking MMA. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ, legs and everything. No wonder you don't
I've
go into
never
each other's dressing
never
rooms.
seen.
You're just
Yeah.
fucking
No,
violent.
it has nothing to do with each other. That has nothing to do with that. I've never seen that ever. I've never seen it ever. And also, I've never been into each other's dressing rooms ever. Like, we'd have the meal together afterwards, but yeah, it's always something I always felt so like, oh, I wish we did that when I see the men doing it,
Then what's stopping
But
you? What's stopping you from going knock, knock, knock? How are you girls?
Do you
Here's a
know what
six
it
pack.
is? We're always under pressure to like get out. Hurry on,
Right.
hurry on, hurry on.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
That was definitely something like I always felt very envious as well of the men who used to like stay on the pitch like with their kids and photos with their family, and we'd be like, "You've got 2 minutes," and like we'd have to like run off the pitch, like because we were always under time pressure because there was a boss or, do you know, and it wasn't like the
Yeah.
men where it's like, "Oh, take your time." We were out of the hotel and things like that, so it's just kind of just the disparity in the game still, I suppose, is what feeds into that, but yeah, yeah. And anyway, we had a great time on the bus on the way home. Like,
Did you get
Wait,
did you get slightly inebriated on the bus on the way home? I hope you did.
oh yes, oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Class.
Passed
Class.
around like bottles of like cheap Baileys and Mickey
Lovely.
Finns and
Oh my God. Did you bust out the crisps and everything, did you? The
oh
Tatoes.
yeah. No, I didn't. I didn't splash out on that. But it's cool. Like someone would take charge of like buying stuff every weekend for the trip home if we're on the way trip, and they'd buy like crisps or beers or whatever. And then you kind of just get throw a few euro in. So I was like, I'll do it. And then I had to through the St. Patrick's Day festival on the bus. But we didn't
Class.
arrive back till 1:30 in the morning. Like it was hell. It was hell. And like it's not even our longest trip. We have to go to Toulon. Yes, Toulon in
Oh,
I don't know.
Jesus Christ. Toulon is another country nearly away from you.
Almost. Like I don't know what time we're going to get back. Like it's, and then we have to go to work on the Monday morning. Like it's nuts.
I remember
I was
having to go
dying.
up to Ballymena one time, like from Shannon. I'm like, kind of madness is this?
I know.
I was like, I'm giving up rugby. This is a terrible idea.
I know. Especially Irish people. It's like, what? You know, when you have to go to like Belfast or somewhere or Kerry,
I
you
think
know.
it's also I've always been a control freak when it came to things like driving. So I would be much easier if the bus driver went, "All right, I'll sit back there, Tom. Do you want to drive it?" Because
Oh yeah.
I can count the miles in my eyes at that stage. I'm like, that's fine, that's fine. But when I'm just sitting there, it's like, Jesus Christ, what do you mean we're not there yet? How come out of it, Morris, and let me fucking drive.
Oh, yeah. Our bus driver was Morris too.
I think it's a prerequisite. You have to be Morris to drive buses.
Morris. He was from Nina.
Yeah, yeah, I probably the same bastard, probably the same fella. Well, our fellas like to smoke sneaky fags out the window while he was driving, but sure, nobody complained. It was grand. He used to get him off. He
Jesus
used to get him off
Christ.
Tony Buckley. It was fine. Tony Buckley went on to play for Ireland not long after that.
Smoking fags out the bus window. That's probably why he played for Ireland.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, also the fact that he was built like three people in one person. Do you know?
That's true.
Um,
Yes.
but yeah,
Joey's daughter plays for Munster.
I, I did a pub table quiz for Airbnb the other night in their offices. You would have loved it. I was actually doing this quiz, right? And it's loosey goosey quiz. It is definitely a quiz, but I'm taking the piss and just kind of doing a bit of crowd work, having a good time with people. But what a lovely bunch of people. What a lovely look. Now, in saying
Oh,
that,
cool.
if your company, I would imagine, pays them all quite well, given where the offices are. Oh my God. And if you saw the offices, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's like, and then they asked, everybody stayed back. It was, everybody was off duty, but they opened a bar for him and they did a very cool thing. They mostly foreign people working in there, but they did spice bags for everybody. They did jam buns. They did all pure deli food stuff, but funny, do you know, with an Irish twist. And they were doing Bren's bread buttered with Tato crisps. So the Italians were looking at this going, what the fuck?
What
I might look.
is yeah.
But yeah, it ended up being very, very good crack.
That's class.
Yeah, it was celebrating. It was on the Thursday, but it was celebrating Paddy's Day. It was good. It was great to like, but it gives you a notion where the money is in Ireland. And when you drive away from a place like that and you see, oh my God, it feels like, well, I'm in London. This does not even look like Dublin. These buildings that
Uh,
have, do you know when an architect is given an open checkbook to just go, we want a hotel, but I want you to go mental on the
where is
design.
it?
The
You're
Grand
allowed to
Canal
say.
docks, the docks, the
Oh
Grand,
yeah.
yeah,
It's
up that,
lovely around there.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But it's very, yeah, it's very, it's like, yeah, it's kind of Londony. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 it is
Yeah.
Little London, is what it is, and things are crazy looking, and there is no expense spared on any of these things. So it was just, but it was interesting. Not one person, maybe two people in the entire of the 120 people, barely knew the Six Nations was on at the weekend. They were like, "Okay, okay, happy times."
Literally.
Yeah. So there was no point in any of the rugby questions that came up. I can tell you that much,
Oh
because
yeah. Okay. Fine.
there was big fat duck eggs.
Give us a good. Give us a good question now. Oh,
um.
I did a quiz on the boss. I'll tell you some of my questions.
Here's a question that came up on a great one, and it was, what British um professional musician, also uh skied. It was the downhill, whatever slalom. We'll say it
Yeah.
wasn't the slalom, but we'll say it was the downhill slalom for Britain in 2014 Winter Olympics.
Great question. Is it a
A,
man or a woman?
a woman, and I'm pretty sure. Yeah, she is British, but she raced for Britain anyway. But you'd have to imagine it's somebody from Wealth, if you know what I mean. That was the first thing into my head. It's somebody from Wealth.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Do you
Yeah, it's
know?
not some, yeah. Is it someone in a group or
No,
a solo
this is
singer?
very much a solo musician. Come
A
on.
musician.
This is a proper musician now. Proper musician. But very well known. Re Regardless of her genre, she's probably transcended it into the popular culture. See, I'm giving away the fucking farm here, Anna.
I don't know, but I really want to say Adele.
Oh, darling. Oh. Can you imagine
Oh,
her on
sweet.
fucking
Oh,
skis?
10 GB in it. Hello, love. Going out flying past in her on her skis.
Some skis
Someone like
like
you.
she breaks her ankle on the first turn. Are you fucking joking me? No, no, no. It was
Musician. All right, go on.
well, I give it to you. I wish
Do.
I'd just left it at Adele now, but I can't. It was Vanessa May, the fiddle player, the violin player.
Oh, I don't know her.
Ah, you do. She's an Asian woman. She'd like outrageous. She always had that bad. She had a Stradivarius. She was famous story. She left it in a taxi, and somebody actually turned up with it, like this fucking
Oh
€250,000
yeah.
pound fuck. But she played with like an electric one, and she'd be all flicky up the hair and stuff. Herself and Nigel Kennedy were, well, she would have been after Nigel Kennedy and stuff, but she was like had
Very
a
hard
cool
to
looking violin. But then turned around and was obviously she didn't do, it's normally when you compete in the boxing in the Olympics, it's from a different background, but socioeconomic background. But she clearly skied enough through her childhood while playing violin that she was good enough to ski for England in the 2014 Winter Olympics.
unbelievable. I must Google her.
Yeah. Oh no, she's ridiculous, like and cool. Made violin playing very very cool. Long before
Mm.
Andrea Rio or whatever his name is.
Oh yeah, Andre
Yeah.
Rios. I
No
love
doubt
him.
she's played with him. No doubt she has played with him.
Yeah.
So
And Sharon Shannon.
well, Sharon Shannon is class. Like Sharon just turns up at everything. Listener Dave is actually a first cousin, I think, of hers. I think he's a first cousin of hers. Very cool woman. Met her at the Late Late briefly. During the country special, don't you know? Herself and Nathan Carter.
Oh yes. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
can't be a thing without on the Late Late without Sharon Shannon. She has her own parking space in RT, I'm pretty sure at this
Oh
stage.
yeah. Did right. Well, she was very popular on our bus trip on Sunday.
Was she?
Yes. Well, actually, they said they liked the Irish music, but they just wanted to change to there's a type of French music called chata. It's like reggaeton, and they were all just then like twerking like crazy. But I taught them
Imagine
river twerk.
twerking to Sharon Shannon.
No, not to Sharon Shannon. Even though it is possible to twerk to Sharon Shannon.
I said, no
Now, have I
wonder.
ever told you I created a dance move called river twerk?
River twerk. And is this to the river dance music or
You don't have to do river dance music, but you do have to perform.
in a
You
river?
should no, you just do an Irish dance and then you twerk.
This is
It's unreal.
this is gonna get us. Yeah, we're gonna get you to purely do this at a later stage and we're going to put a green screen background and we're
I
gonna get
kind of have it on my Instagram, like
yeah.
I posted a video of myself dancing. It was during the World Cup,
Because I'm
but I was
picturing
not.
Irish dancing and twerking would look like you're having some sort of a seizure. No?
No, not at all.
Well, like
Not at all.
get that woman a glass of water and a tablet. She needs to sit
No,
down for herself.
no, people just start throwing dollar bills at you.
Nice. Nice. So,
And
oh, sorry,
yeah,
sorry, go ahead. There's more
no, no,
dancing.
no, no, no. What I was about to say there is, and I've never had a spice bag.
Jesus Christ Almighty. Say that
I've
to
never
me.
had a spice bag. We don't eat spice bags in Mallow.
It's true. It's a very Dublin thing. Like but it's gone around the country. And listen, the Chinese throughout the country they're the smartest people in the world. They cotton
Yeah.
onto this old shite. Bits all crispy chicken, mixed in with a few all onions and chips. You know full well that's what was left at the end of the night. Somebody went, here, just fuck it all into one bag, will you? And it
Mm.
became like Dublin people are unbelievable for making nostalgia moments out of fuck all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
they will create this thing. Hence why the likes of Jedward are still in existence. Do you know what I mean? It's like what the fuck? Spice bags,
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like,
the
yeah.
pool bag towers, they were talking about pulling them down. There was actual protests. It's like, but they were just incinerator chimneys built in the 70s. It's
Oh, but
not
they're so cool.
really, I don't know,
Yeah, I
fucking,
love them.
oh, Semtex the fucking lot of them to fuck. Take them
No,
down.
I
Uh,
love the pool bay chimneys, but
If you
I don't know how we ended up comparing the pool bay chimneys to Jedward.
Anyway, they're literally the
Or a
same
spice
thing.
bag.
They're two inanimate objects. That's it. I'd have more time for the concrete gone into them than poor old Jedward.
General, we're having to go with Louis Walsh. Is Louis Walsh in the news there recently? But come here, going back to going back to Airbnb. Sorry, and we can talk about rugby then. Or sorry,
Yes.
unless you have more updates
No,
from
no,
the weekend.
no, no, no.
Um, Speaking of Airbnb, I've booked myself an Airbnb
Where?
next week. Do you want to know where? Did you listen to my voice note where I listen? Did you listen to my voice note where I was like, "Oh, by the way, I'm not around next week, da da da," and then I left John hanging, and I was about to record the rest of it, and I was like, "Oh, actually, I'm just going to leave him hanging there."
Oh, fuck me. I missed all the. No, I missed that bit. I won't be around next. Oh,
I'm
very
going
interesting.
somewhere, but I actually think I
Oh,
won't tell you.
don't tell me at all. Oh, fuck. No, no, Debbie, don't. That was a great call. Don't, geez, don't tell me. No, 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 no. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I do want to know, but I don't want to know. I want the surprise for the listeners as to where you've been and your skullduggery and what carry on you've been up to. Gallivanting again. Gallivanting with Anna. Gallivananta. No. How could we?
Gallivanting.
Gallivanting. That sounds like somebody's got veins growing out of their legs that
Gallivan
shouldn't be. No, we
Gallivanting plus.
Gallivanting Plus. That's not bad actually. I mean,
Gallivanting banana. Yeah.
hey, we should probably talk about rugby.
Oh yeah.
You're sitting there in your La Rochelle top and you're like, well, this is enough rugby for the afternoon time. I'm wearing a La Rochelle hoodie, which is a nice
Yeah.
hoodie, actually. They're great colours. Tipperary colours,
Oh
too, by the
yeah.
way.
Kilkenny.
Um,
Where was I? I
are
was
you
in a
black
pub
or
and someone
blue?
was like,
Are they black or blue?
black.
Oh, shit. Right, fair enough. Well, Clanwilliam and Tipperary, where I played most of my rugby. We'll go with that. Where did you get to watch it at all? Been on fucking
Oh yeah,
transient?
on the bus. On the bus. Everyone
Did,
must.
were you able to watch it or did you have to deal with alien ditties popping up everywhere?
No, no, no. But all the Diddy sites are gone. Like, but I can watch it on like TV, France TV or whatever that's called.
Okay.
It's like the RTE player. So at least that. It's French commentary, but like whatever. I'm just happy to watch it. Um it was pure shite.
It was I watched it in two parts. I watched it here at home, and then I took off for Waterford because, as per exactly the same fixture last year, I was playing the Theatre
Oh
Royal,
yes.
which I won't want to diss. There's no dissing any other theatre. They're all any theatre I've ever played. They're a joy, but there's something special about the Theatre Royal. It is the people in it. The people are they're our kind of people, if you know what I mean.
Mm,
There's a blue collar working edge to them, like, and they don't get shocked by anything. I mean anything. I can come in with the hammer swinging hard at these people, and there's no moment at the beginning where got to warm into them. They just get on board straight away. There was one loud woman at the front. She was I think she thought she was watching the telly, you know, and and she probably watched a lot of crowd work comedy on her phone. So she was piping back every so often. So I was like, okay, we need to shut this shit down quickly. And
Oh, very
yeah, it
good.
was great. It was great. But she loved it. She loved getting roasted. It was lovely, lovely crowd. But I'd watched it half and then I got as far as Carrick and Shore. The second half had started and caught the second half. And to be fair, I just
So,
kind of looked.
did you do the gig before you caught the second half?
No, 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 no. No, the gig
Oh, yeah.
was immediately afterwards. And it was, to be fair, I got about halfway through the second half. They were chugging along. I went, you know what? I don't want to cut it too fine here. I'll just listen to it on the radio. And to be honest with you, Michael Corcoran
Corcoran?
and Donal Lennon made it sound a lot more exciting than it was. And
Yeah, I was wondering, sorry, was I thinking it was pure shite because of the French commentary?
no, to be fair, the first half was diabolical. It was men out on their legs. I don't care what anybody says. I listened to a British rugby podcast this morning and I listened to a bit of it and the way they were Plymouth and Scotland, they were saying, oh, they nullified the Irish attack. I'm like, what Irish attack? Ireland
Yeah.
were absolutely knackered. I don't,
Mm,
I like, we spoke about the exact same thing in the World Cup. They
mm,
were knackered. The men need to
mm,
lie down for 6 months. They need to go in the sea or something. They didn't have it in the legs. They just didn't.
yeah.
I knew you'd be in agreement. I didn't even message you about it at the time. I says, Anna's seeing what I'm seeing because one out
Mm,
runners, no imagination. Now, 20 minutes in the second half, they obviously got, you know, a rocket put up all their holes and came out
yeah.
and actually started running them down, started smashing them down
Mm,
with their power. I was like, oh,
mm,
great.
yeah.
But cut for time. And then, like, what the fuck is going on here? There was
Mm,
uncharacteristic missed tackles and stuff. You're like, Bundyaki
mm,
falling off a tackle. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Never happens. Like,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. We're
I
tired.
they look tired. They look
Yeah.
tired. There was a few kind of saying, you know, oh, well, the stuffing was knocked out of them by maybe the England loss. I'm like, no, their best game was probably against Italy, given how well Italy have played. Like, I mean, yeah,
Mm,
they beat France, a 14-man France, who
mm,
were absolutely hungover from the World Cup.
mm,
Um, but England, they didn't come out of second gear against England. They damn near fucking beat them. And Wales, they they paddled along against Wales and
mm.
Scotland. Now, what does everybody say? It's a sign of a great team if you can still go and win the fucking Six Nations, not really firing too many shots. Like,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it was the, once their ruck slows down at all and once their line out isn't firing 100%, I think Ireland maybe
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe there just isn't maybe it's a hell I guess you'd be able to answer that. It's a hell of a lot harder to get forward momentum if your line out isn't working, I guess.
Yeah. Um, it is. Do you know what's interesting? What you made me think of there now, because the Women's Six Nations started this weekend, so I've
Uh-huh.
been doing all my homework on that and reading up and all that. France women had a camp a couple of weeks ago with only the forwards.
Oh,
So they literally had a whole weekend to work on set piece before their entire team thing started. Now, I've been to like forward sessions. I've never had a forward camp just for set piece. And I was like, that is fucking genius. Like, I wonder how much Ireland men does that or the French men or I'd never heard of it before. I've never heard of a camp. Yes, training sessions and yes, kind of extra, but actually the backs don't need as much like do you know when you go into camp you'll have like forwards and backs like training at the same time so you have an hour each
mm,
the backs have more than enough time like to kind of get through like it's kind of catered to the backs like not needing to go like longer than an hour but the forwards need longer than an hour for just the line out and like just the scrum like so it made so much sense and then they went into their camp and they were able to you know continue their forwards work but have a base in their set piece before the backs turned up. It made so much sense. But it's just kind of echoes your point there, what you're saying. Like, if your set piece is wobbly, you're at nothing. Do you know, you need to fucking
yeah.
you need to get that right.
Isn't it funny how rugby has gotten so advanced in so many ways and so state of the art and we've so many nuances, but the bottom line still keep coming back like you need a scrum and a line out, everything after that. If you got those
Mm,
two locked in, the backs will
mm,
work it out. That's what
mm.
all I remember from playing 12, 13 years of rugby was mostly watching the arses of big fellas and hoping the ball came out to you. And when it did, you do something with it. You
Yeah.
didn't need a big power. Sure, we had set moves, all right. But a lot of the time, if you've got an offload away and a gap opened up, set moves me a hole. Just run after the person who has the ball and just make yourself available. It's fine. I didn't have to worry about fucking the scrum half had a whore of a job because they need to
Mm,
know, the calls for everything. But what is it they say? Forwards win matches and backs win, choose by how
mm.
much or
Right.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, now their scrum. I will, and I'm being absolutely biased because I'm friends with him, John Fogarty. I messaged him. He was so happy just to talk about, not to talk about rugby, just comedy is all he wanted to talk about. Um, but he was like, "Thank fuck, my scrum worked."
Mm.
You knew by him. It was like, but they had I mean, he was down to their toenails, what way their toenails needed to be. You know what I mean? He had to make it perfect, and it did.
Yeah.
Their scrum looked tidy. Uh,
Yeah.
but
They gave
as we,
away a couple of penalties as well.
they did, yeah, they did. Sometimes I think scrums are weird. They're still a weird part of the game that
Yeah.
the
Totally.
refs don't really know what's going on. And I suppose
No.
you'll never know what's going on unless you have some sort of like. I was thinking maybe if you had like a scrum cap that was covered in all different sensors that knew how much pressure was coming on from different places to know if fellas were actually, turning in and stuff like that. And but
Jesus.
but that then you gotta not even a human could monitor that. Then you'd have to have an AI, and before you know it, we're playing against robots, and it's no crack at all.
Yes.
It's the
Yeah,
dystopian
absolutely.
future.
It's just so funny how frustrated we get with the referee when actually it's so inevitable that the referee has to just take those random decisions. Like,
Hmm.
do you know, it's
I had to go myself because I was watching Gardner in the first half. I'm like, was it Gardner? Was his name? No, Matthew Carley. I'm like, dude, you are getting, and I had to bite my tongue. Then I was like, oh, Tom, what's the? Just like in boxing, you should never leave it up to the ref. You should be so out of sight that it's a
yeah.
knockout. You know what I mean? Don't be waiting for the points to be counted at the fucking end by the
Mhm.
judges. You should be
Yeah.
in. You should have knocked them out earlier
Yeah.
because the ref's job is a whore of a job. It's a fucking whore of a
Yeah.
job. But I thought Hugo Keenan's a big loss.
Yeah.
I know what's his name, Jordan Larmour jumped in there or whatever, but I just think Keenan, it must be how he runs or something. He just seems to unlock it and put defenders on their back, on their heels or something.
It's
Because
so
lads,
strange
isn't
because
it?
he doesn't even look like he's trying. I know we've spoken
No.
about this before, but I always, yeah, it is. God, he's an unbelievable talent, and he's so sure in the air. He's definitely one of. Did you see that thing that clip where someone was asking like people as they were on their way into the match, who is Ireland's most valuable player or who is Ireland's best player, or something like that. And literally they said they could have named every player on the squad. It was like Bundyaki, Hugo Keenan, James Lowe, Jamison Gibson Park. Like, and all of them were right. Like all
Yeah.
of them were,
Yeah.
like you couldn't argue with any of them. Caelan Doris, Josh Van der Fleer, like just Hugo Keenan. I mean, if you almost had to pick one, jeez, but he's hard to pick because it just looks like he's not even trying. Whereas James Lowe is very kind of flamboyant in his movements and his
Oh yeah. I mean,
very
it's absolutely always going to be somebody like, Bundyaki who's cutting people in half. You know what I mean?
mm,
It's going to be Tyg Furlongs. It's going to be James. It's going to be these. But like, he just, from a nonchalant point of view, it just looks like how is he gliding? But something happens. The defenses bend backwards when he runs at him. I don't know. It must be something in his legs or something that they're watching and going, I don't know what he's going to fucking do
yeah,
because he seems to create acres of space for other players around him. And
yeah,
like Jordan Larmour tries, he did the other day. I mean, no, he was getting nowhere through anybody. Like, it was just unfortunate, but it just wasn't happening. Like,
yeah.
but um, I
We're so
feel,
spoiled as
oh,
well with
here,
Hugo
we're,
Keenan
we're
that we don't actually know. It's like if you woke up one day and like the door didn't have a door handle.
yeah, yeah.
Like, what? What? do you mean? Like, you'd be like, what am I supposed to do now? Like, I never realized how much I needed the door handle.
I need to ring Andy
You know?
Farrell to come put a new door
Like,
handle.
you're like, your finger in the thing, like, how do I open it?
It's,
Do
do
you
you know
know?
what? You talk about being spoiled. We're like two spoiled fucking children here. I just have to we're both kind of nearly bit fucking down in the mouth, kind of going, oh, sure, look at they were tired and they won the fucking Six
I know.
Nations. And we're still kind of going, but
Sorry. That's my fault because I was like, I started on a bad note saying it was shite. I should have been like, fucking fair play.
yeah, okay. In retrospect, it definitely, no, we're aware of it. And I think it's only that we love the sparks and excitement that we've seen
Yeah,
Ireland create and do.
I agree
Um,
with that completely.
it's just. And the minutia of what they do is still good enough to win matches and win the Six Nations. Now,
Mm.
were other teams a bit poor against us? And I think some teams were nearly beaten before they came to play us. Like, um, I think Italy probably were because Italy are far better than how they played against us. Do you know?
Mm.
But I'm still delighted that we that we still pulled off what we pulled off. I think it'll be a very different. Also, I suppose, and you'd be able to attest to this, like. You rip through France, undoubtedly. You rip through Italy. You rip through Wales. Come the England match, I can't imagine they're switched on like they will be. Say, if you compare the two games, first test against South Africa in the summer, you cannot tell me, honestly, that a human being can be as wired into the fucking job there as you would have been against England and Twickenham. I know it's fine to say professionalism and you go out there and give it your all, but that 0.5% that's required extra, it can't have been there against England. That will be
Yep.
there against South Africa.
Yep. Yep. That's probably fair. And as well, they play the Six Nations every year. So, do you know, as much as you want to think like, oh yeah, I give it 100% of it, there's this like subconscious energy that exists, like if you're in a comfortable zone, or if you're
Yes.
under pressure for your position, or if you're not, or if you're comfortable, or if you're just expecting things to gel like they had done in the first three games. And even when it didn't gel versus Wales, they still won comfortably. So they were probably just relying on that as well. Yeah, like without the French kind of challenge, it probably did them no favors. But come like they've a long, finish out the club season, they'll get back together. I think they'll be looking forward to getting back together now because they just won the Six Nations. They seem to enjoy it. Um, whether or not Peter Manny will still be around, whether there'll be a new cause for a new captain or whatever the crack there'll be. Like I think they'll be really looking forward to like getting back together
Well, they
and
definitely have, they
maybe
definitely have stuff to work on. You could look back in the Six Nations and go, Jesus, lads, a lot of our blemishes there. We need to tidy up a small bit.
mm,
Um, what do you reckon? I wanted to ask you that. What do you reckon? You came in as POM tonight is
mm.
your handle. What do you think? Is he going gardening full time like fucking Thanos after he destroyed half the world? When he clicked his fingers that time, is he going to go gardening full time? Is he going working for Woody's? Is he getting his own show with ear to the ground? Is what I'm saying.
Oh
Or
God, please don't put him on telly with the rest of them. Uh, even though a segment might be interesting enough, I like when he like goes gardening with his kids. Um,
which his kids actually are adorable. All three look exactly like him. They don't.
There's a little video of the little fella running after the camera. They're
Yeah,
so
adorable,
cute.
adorable. Of
But I like when he goes gardening with them. I'd actually watch that because you can tell like Peter Manny's getting like kind of impatient with him. He's
course
like,
he is.
no, no.
It's
I'd
not
actually
like
watch
that.
that.
It's his most perfect garden, and the kids are like, "Daddy," and they're firing shit everywhere. It's like inside he's like, "Only that I'm your parent, I'd have you fired in over the wall." Oh my god, this is
We
my
know.
OCD
We'll
is
be
going.
out playing rugby anyway. um, but the crying in the anthem would suggest that
It's a
it's
curtain call.
potentially his last Six
Yeah.
Nations. I think he is the type of player who would leave kind of retrospectively in terms of like he wouldn't be like, this is my last game, so I want a big fanfare.
Mm.
I don't
Well,
think he'd do that.
the very cool thing he did at the end shows the man he is. When did you see with Tyke Furlong
Yeah.
lifting the cup, like that was cool. Do you know?
Yeah.
I think it's a sign. Did you see the clip of Ryan Baird speaking about him? It was
No, but I saw a
unbelievable.
few different players talking about him. What did Ryan Baird say?
It was so candid, and
Hang on, my tea.
oh, Jesus Christ, she literally turned like she'd been kicked in the leg by, I don't know, a crazy French person who was trying to steal all her baguettes. What?
Sorry. Okay, I have my
God,
tea. What did Ryan Baird say?
but it was really honest and emotional. It was like something you wouldn't. He just went, "What did you know? What does he mean to you? What?" Because oh, you've no idea what that man means to me. I told him, I idolize him. I absolutely idolize him. I look up to him. He's everything I want to be as a player. And you're like, Jesus Christ, I'm choking up here. It's like it was beautifully honest and open. Like, wow, what a guy to the way he said it. It was so eloquent. The way he said it was like, what?
Where
You,
did you see that? I'd love to see that.
it's on like YouTube Shorts. You know what I mean? It's only like a 45-second bit. He's
One of
suited
the
and
Irish
boot.
rugby.
Yeah, he's suited and booted in his number ones after the game.
Oh,
And it
okay.
was just they just threw it out there, and I'm guessing they were had asked him, but the way he just became really like he turned to the camera nearly in a determined way. It was like, Jesus Christ, I would buy whatever that man is selling. He was so well, he spoke so well in that moment. It was like
So
none of the,
lovely.
sure, you know yourself, and we'll watch the video and enjoy tonight. It wasn't that shit. It was straight from the soul kind of stuff. It was like,
I
wow,
love it.
yeah, really, really cool.
But what's weird about this is that there was no hint of Peter Manny calling it a day. Uh, Not really, especially not throughout this Six Nations, until he started crying in the anthem.
Mm,
And so what? So all of the journalists just basically were asking all of the players afterwards, what does he mean to you? So the media are retiring him, and us talking about it now are retiring him.
yeah.
The crying didn't help, but also he hasn't fucking said anything.
Yeah, I mean, if you were to speculate, and that's all we can do is speculate, you say maybe, yeah. And you know what? It would be, as you said, it would be very Peter O'Mahony to just sink back into the really, really well trimmed hedge, like Ned Flanders. You know what I mean? Just, or
Like
like
Homer.
Like Homer Simpson, just to, but
Okay.
like, I mean, that hedge would be fucking impeccable that he would, you know, but at the same time, and I don't know if they would ever use the South Africa model. You know the way they can nearly put a guy in the cupboard for a year or two, and then bust him out for big games for that fuck. It's almost like wrestling. Do you remember like the two lads nearly 40 playing in the back row for fucking South Africa during the World Cup? Did your man that came from he came from Ulster. What's his fucking name again? From Bermuda. And
Oh yeah.
not Peter Steph Toy, but somebody else. Sorry. I
Um,
would think, can you imagine? Can you imagine if Peter O'Mahony was put on ice, right? And they just bulked him up, made him super scary, veins and everything, and brought him back in the World Cup. Like Stone Cold Steve Austin, the music comes on. They don't
only to
even,
play in the quarterfinal.
you don't even know he's on the bench, right? They just have like the masked singer. They just have somebody in a hood, like the Undertaker in wrestling. Then all of a sudden, dung, the War God stands up. God damn it, my guy, God Almighty! And he comes running on with 20 minutes and wins the World Cup quarterfinal for us because he's been resting for 3 years in a grave somewhere, just been pumped with oxygen and protein. I think it would be incredible, and he'd only be 37. He'd make it. He'd fucking make it, Anna. It'd be unbelievable. It'd be the greatest story ever told in rugby.
I feel like this is what rugby in general actually needs. Like you don't actually say who's on your bench, and then
Oh,
they all come out under smoke.
yeah, yeah. Like the Heart Foundation. I'm going
Could
Hulk
be
Hogan.
could be anyone. You could yeah, you could actually be Hulk Hogan. I mean, Hogan's an Irish surname.
Oh, I love. Can you imagine? Not, I love the notion of that not
That'd be
knowing.
so good. And like then the other players like fucking South Africa be like, what the fuck, bruh? And like Hulk Hogan is then just running around
I
and
am
like
I mean, he's
and
60
Rey
odd. You
Rey
know,
Mysterio comes
yeah.
on as some half.
It, and none of them with any shirt on, just nude from the waist up. Just
You know, they have to be in their like lucha libre
but they do it like the countdown on the what's it called, this what the one where they all run in every minute a new wrestler runs in. Before you know it, there's 30 battering the shit out of each other, and but there's a clock that runs
No,
the
I,
Royal
I
Rumble. The
actually,
Royal Rumble, that's what it's called. Yeah.
oh, you're right. Oh my god, yeah. I feel like we're onto something. I feel like this could be entertaining. But you know what? I actually feel like it would be really funny to watch them like in the jersey and the shorts, like in proper rugby kit. Like how funny would Hulk Hogan look in a jersey and
Have
shorts and
have
socks
you
and
have
boots?
you ever seen the Irish guy, the Seamus? You ever seen him?
I
He's
think.
monstrous, but on oh, they had obviously, it was so funny, they'd handed the ring announcers, who were so dramatic anyway, they give, or not the ring announcer, but the commentary guys. It was the weekend of Brian O'Driscoll's final retirement, because he'd 17 different retirement matches, and he's the one
Yeah.
where they had literally the fucking blimp and everything going behind him, and but he was. Do you remember that one?
That
No.
was in Paris.
Yeah. But that
Yeah.
weekend there was wrestling on, and Seamus wore out an Irish jersey, and it had Brian or Bod written across the back 13. And the announcers were like, for anybody who doesn't know, that's the great Brian O'Driscoll is retiring this weekend from Six Nations Rugby. But you want to see the jersey on him. It was like, ah, for fuck's sake. It was
Hilarious.
fucking glued to it. It was brilliant. He could just barely pull the thing off when he got to the ring, but yeah, I want to see. I reckon we put Peter O'Mahony on just a program of basically whatever we got to do to turn back the clock and get 120 minutes out of him in 3 years' time for the World Cup.
However, you
Yeah.
realize what you're saying here is at the cost of somebody like Gavin Coombs.
Listen, Gavin can play the first 60. That's what I'll give him that. I'll give him that.
No, but Gavin Coombs can't get into the squad because of the depth in the back row. Like like I'm sorry, but I think I think I think it's over.
No, it is never over as he comes in on a motorbike. That's what I want Peter O'Mahony to come in on, a fucking Harley Davidson. And
You better if he came in on a Vespa.
no, come in on the fucking John Deere lawnmower and clip around the edges first. Like,
Or maybe, yeah, maybe he's like disguised as the gardener and he's like cutting the lawn, cutting like
that's his,
the
yeah,
dead
that's his.
balls, the dead ball zone. And like someone goes in for a try and he just runs him over with the lawnmower. Yeah. Now we're talking.
Yeah, I want a bit of drama in. I don't think there's enough drama. I think we could add drama to rugby, and I mean, Tom Savage from Three Red Kings has done it from his side in the way of his commentary and stuff. He invented names like the Warlord or the the War God. He called it's basically he operated off a wrestling style
Oh yeah.
shtick. So like Craig Casey is known as the Scrum Goblin, Ruck Goblin, which is a great
Yeah.
name. It's a great name being a Ruck Goblin. I think we're onto something here. But you are right. You are. Oh, I mean, in all fairness to you, you're fairly right. I would like to see Peter O'Mahony go to South Africa. And there was a poll done
Hey,
in UK over the weekend. There was a poll done, and He came out with 22 out of the five captains, the four captains that could be potentially for the Lions captaincy. Peter O'Mahony was topped it out way up,
yeah.
like way beyond everybody else. Jamie George, Finn Russell.
What's
Um,
what's annoying me is that how much Lions talk we've had since the World Cup. Like the Lions is on for another fucking year, like
I
another year and a half, 2 years from the World Cup. Like there's been so much Lions talk. Like what do we usually talk about? Do we usually start talking about the
no,
Lions this
we don't. For some reason, this
annoying me?
I think also the World Cup was on this side of the globe. I think it felt like kind of a giant Six Nations. I think the Six Nations became a kind of if you bought the Six Nations on Wish, that's what we ended up with on
Yeah,
or Timu, because
World Cup. Yeah, because the fucking World Cup was shit anyway.
yeah, know what I mean. It was shit. It ended shit
The
anyway.
World Cup.
Stupid bastard!
Stupid.
Who the fuck? I have deleted its number.
Oh
um,
yeah. Yeah, sorry. Go on.
it's I feel, but on paper we will go down as the back-to-back Six Nations fucking champions, and I think we've just been spoiled in the last maybe 7 or 8 years, maybe 6 or 7 years. And that's probably what's led us to this point where we're like, guess we won it.
You know
Not the
what's
Grand Slam. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I know.
picking
Yeah,
holes.
I know.
We're,
Yeah, yeah, it's a great problem to have. But you know what's gas as well? Like there's like it'll take another 2 years to try and get back-to-back Grand Slams. It's
yeah,
like, do you know when you're like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's like in tennis. Do you know when you're like playing in the first set and like you're doing well and then all of a sudden you have to win 2 sets?
Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah,
You know
yeah,
what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
You kind of become so far behind, so much more far behind just from 1 point kind of a thing.
That it's no good to
Uh,
you. Yeah, it's no good to you. Then
yeah.
I listen. I hate that it's a fucking cliche that everybody uses, but if you know if the Six Nations fans and the Irish fans and Andy Farrell were offered the Six Nations only at the end of the fucking at the beginning of this tournament, they take your name off. Maybe they would, maybe they wouldn't, maybe
The
they're
tournament,
disappointed. Maybe they're disappointed they didn't wipe the fucking floor with everybody.
I
You know,
think
it's
I think they're disappointed.
yeah, which is an odd thing to say. All in all, class that we won it. Maybe it's added the. Do you know what? Maybe it's, like rich kids, just those super rich, like Saudi kids. You know
Mm,
those lads who walk into like Harrods and buy 7,000 euros worth of perfume and they just throw it in the bin afterwards because
mm,
they're so dead inside because they have had so good for so long.
mm.
We don't want to become that. Didn't that fucking long ago? We were fighting our way out of like both our childhoods. We would have remembered. You're younger than me, but you would have remembered Ireland getting their holes handed to them on a regular.
Completely, but we're also I think we're sorry now again to be like the
Oh,
fucking Doomsday Princess, but like I feel like we're more like the
that's the name
influence.
of this show. That's the name of this episode. That's the greatest phrase I've ever heard you cook. The Doomsday Princess. That's your wrestling name. That's your fucking wrestler name. That's it. I swear to God, you need to get yourself a natural Libra mask, a
No,
Lucia
I'm
mask.
not, but I'm not actually a Doomsday Princess, only when it comes to this Irish team. Because of my hope has been so shattered. I'm actually writing it down because it reminded me of something else. Doomsday Princess. No, I actually think, do you know what you were saying about the rich kids and da, da, da? I feel like we're more like, do you know the influencers
Oh,
who like rent the plane
yeah.
and then pretend that they own the plane?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Feel like that's what we're like. I feel like, we're like one of those people who takes like sits on a Bentley and takes a picture and then like the person like England or South Africa comes out and they're like, can you get off my Bentley, please? Because they're actually rich and we're just only faking it.
Yeah. 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 You get all
We're
our gear in
getting there, like
we get all our gear in
influencing.
Turkey. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, but influencing is a real job now. So, eventually we'll be just as rich. But the thing is, like, sorry now, like, talking about being disappointed, like, the fucking, I don't like using the word choked, but they didn't perform against England. Do you know when it is one of the things?
It's
And
a
I
little
know
worrying. Yeah, it is a little
I
worrying
think
that
it's
they didn't. There
still one of the
wasn't
things.
a second half reaction out of them. Yeah.
Yeah, they haven't figured out yet is how to win, how to be number one. They still haven't figured out how to be number one.
Yeah.
I don't. I thought that Andy Farrell was onto it, and he's not. He still has time.
Of course he does. He still has time, and it's maybe it's the changing of the old guard. The last few lads, the likes of I don't know, maybe the likes of O'Mahony, but then O'Mahony always struck me as almost Roy Keane-esque, where he's like, I don't fucking believe in being second. Like, maybe I'm wrong, but um, we bring through these young pups like the likes of Joe McCarthy comes through and goes, I only know about winning, and I'm the greatest ever. That's
Yeah,
kind of unfortunately that's nearly the attitude you need to have. Like,
yeah,
it's the All Blacks esque from like the mid 2000s All Blacks, those unbeatable
yeah.
years, like so. Will we ever get it? I don't think it's a very Irish attitude. I don't think we'll ever actually fully get there. Like I don't think, but I suppose we do get quite excited by things, and maybe we after we beat France, we've a brand new out half and everything. But when you're looking out in the cold light of day, it's not fucking bad going with a brand new out half or getting rid of Johnny Sexton. Not
No, it's
bad
not
going,
bad
like
going at all. And the best thing about us is the type of rugby that we play. I know we didn't necessarily play in the last two games, but watching Ireland is such a joy.
I can't wait to see what's happening next because my cat is gone. And obviously,
Yeah.
for me, that's not a bad thing, even though he's being a class act. But you said something interesting the last day. You said if you're going to be number one, Tom, you have to be fucking continuously changing to be better than everybody else because everybody's going to mark your card and catch your number. Everybody catches up with you eventually, so you have to stay ahead of the game. Like, and maybe this will be a very new, interesting horizon for whoever comes in. Going, I love what you're doing, lads, but we're going to play it the other
However,
way.
mm,
However, I have a different idea. Let's play it this way. And
yep.
I hope it only gets more and more fun. And bring on
Me too.
fucking South Africa. I can't wait because there's now a bit of jeopardy. We're not going with a big giddy up of an absolute whitewash. We're kind of going, fucking hell, let's see, can we do it? Now there's a bit of drama in the story at least. Like
Yeah. Is it 2 test series? Yeah, it's two.
two's enough for them big bastards.
Two's
Two's
enough.
enough.
Yeah.
Jesus
Two's
Christ.
more than enough.
Enough.
Jesus.
Because
Once is more
have you
than
seen the
enough.
November series? What's coming?
No, I haven't seen anything.
All
I
Blacks.
just know Portugal are playing Scotland. That's all I know.
Yeah, well, Ireland are clearly the big ticket number for everybody who wants to play them. It's Ireland, it's All Blacks, Australia, Argentina, and Fiji. So clearly, the big viewing number. It's so unfair. Other teams are like England. I think are going off the
Say it again.
chart.
All Blacks, Australia, Argentina, Fiji.
Yeah, I
Class.
mean everyone a banger for its own reasoning. Like every one of them. So it's clear when you're at if there was nothing else to be taken away from this, if you're like, yeah, I don't know, are we that good at all? You're like, really? Have a look who wants to come and play here because they know the TV rights, they know the money, the sponsorship that's going to come with it. England are off to play fucking Chile or some fucking old thing, like they're going down to South America or something. Do you know what I mean? It's pure scutter. Oh no, sorry, that's during the summer.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening during they probably played the same in the November series, but
That's a bit rich given that England literally just beat Ireland. So
yeah, but let's be honest, fucking
yeah, I
even
know.
hey,
I know.
Anna, as the phrase says, even a blind fucking squirrel will find a nut once in its life. You know what I mean? Like they still pissed their pants against France. Let's be honest. What was it? Steve Warwick came out and said the most incredible statement. We didn't lose the match. We just ran out of time. It's like,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
that's
It's like it's one of the rules.
I
Yeah.
I didn't.
How
No, Jeffrey Dahmer. I didn't murder all those people. I just de-lifed them of that scenario. Like, what are you talking about?
like
You fucking
it's like
lunatic. We
Gino
ran
de
out.
Campo. If my grandmother had wheels, she would have been a bicycle.
Yeah,
That's
I
exactly what it is.
I
Yeah.
watched the highlights of it. It was do you know what it was? It was an enjoyable game. In there was loads of tries. Gail, who I still love Gail Fico because I still love seeing an old fella pull it out of the fucking bag and go. Because this might be his last tournament too. He's been playing forever. He's
Yeah,
bandaged up. His fucking arms and knees and fucking head, everything's bandaged up, and
so good though still.
he was class. You're like, that's a big game player. If you were in if you were in the home nations, you would make a Lions tour nearly again, Gail. I'm a big, I've always been a big fan of him, but to see him still bringing it and making it, justifying his place in the team, he's a cool cat. Like, and he was a fucking nightmare for England at the weekend. But I only caught the highlights of that. I watched. Did you get to see for anybody who didn't? England lost. They didn't lose. Sorry, they ran out of time, and there was more. France had more points on the scoreboard. I mean, what are you gonna do?
Funny,
What are you gonna do,
funny
Steve?
about it's that funny thing. Yeah, I watched it with the French girls, so
Did you
uh
get to see our second favorite team, Italy, playing Wales? Now, I mean, you feel bad for Wales, but a load of the people in the audience brought wooden spoons. This is very I was fucking It was, but
yeah, right. If you're in for the crack. But I
Welsh
did,
fans
but I
have
did.
always been great.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely. Sure, that's it. Especially when you're aware of where your team is at and you know, if you can embrace that, as long as Welsh rugby in general has just gone through some awful shit in the last couple of years. Like, if you're a fan, you need to be like brandishing the wooden spoon to
You
be
may as
very
you
self-aware of
may as
where
well
you're at.
laugh or you'd cry, isn't that it? Like, and in the immortal words of Mary Poppins, just as fucking wooden spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. And that was a fucking nasty fucking medicine to have to take. She didn't say that, and I'm paraphrasing. You looked at me
What?
now like you were going to draw down on me, go, Tom, I think you'll find.
I actually don't know Mary Poppins that well, so I wasn't going to challenge you. But I
Where,
just didn't
oh,
think she used the
fuck.
F-bomb so much. Get
Yeah.
into bed, you little fucking shits.
Yeah, her and that Liza Doolittle from fucking My Fair Lady cursed the whole way throughout. You just probably got the softer version in school, but yeah,
Fucking right.
Italy looked. Now I know Wales were fucking brutal and they were falling apart at the seams, but by God, they're a cool looking team to watch. Italy,
Mm.
they got their
Oh,
shit together,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and also their
I know.
fans have some of the best history wearing costumes. Like they're wearing fucking Centurion fucking gear, helmets, the whole lot in the audience. You're like, that's fucking cool. We don't really have that in Ireland, do we? We don't. Well, I mean, we don't really have unless you dress up as like Finn McCool and fucking the
Yeah, we
children.
should start doing that as well.
We should do dress up as the children of Lyr, just load of people as fucking swans in the audience.
Oh yeah.
That'd
Or
confuse
just
everybody.
pagans. I like the Finn McCool. What if a load of people like Broad Hurleys?
Like Satanta, yeah, that's a different game. Then Anna, we're into a different thing. It's called hurling.
I know,
It's
but at
dress
least
as
you know.
wolfhounds. We could dress as wolfhounds, or I could dress as the salmon of knowledge,
Yeah.
the salmon
All
of
these
rugby.
miniatures. You could
I,
dress as like Bono from U2.
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't. I would don't want to. Don't want to annoy anybody. Just
You
dress.
don't
Yeah,
Well, people do dress as St. Patrick,
they
to be
do.
honest.
They do. It's low on the imagination levels. It's normally either Saint Patrick or a leprechaun.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Look at Roman history. They've got so much. You can dress as Caesar, a centurion. Um, you could dress as a really good aqueduct. I mean, some high-end engineering from back in the day. You could
Dress
dress as.
like Leonardo da Vinci.
Yeah, yeah. You could dress as Leonardo from the Turtles. I like pizza. Uh, I'm on
I
a
have
stretch
him on
here.
my socks. You can
What?
see. Ow!
That's saying is
Can you see him?
yeah.
Easy.
That's Raphael though. If he's no, if he's purple, is Michelangelo was in
No,
blue.
yes, sorry, you're right. His headband is purple. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm just sorry now for nerding out a small bit. Between the fucking wrestling and turtles, do you think I'd actually know about this stuff? I'll be honest with you, I had some Lions Men earlier today and it's regurgitating memories that I would have never had, that I didn't realize were in there.
You had some what?
How have I not told you about the Lions Mane? Oh, Anna, we got to get you on this. You'll be like Turbo Anna. You'll be the princess of happiness. It's it's a fungi. In capsule form, and you take it. It's a brain protein. It's a brain mineral.
Hang on. Is these mushrooms you were telling me about?
Yeah, they're not
What?
psychedelic or anything. They're really, really good proteins and minerals for your brain. And lion's mane is one of them. There's another one called there's a complex that I have of three of them.
It's obviously working
It's
really
working.
well.
It's yeah. I to be honest with you, the lion's mane one is the only one I really ever take, and it's really good. It's really
I
good
need
for
those. I'm getting a bit forgetful.
yeah. Everybody
No.
does. Everybody does because it. Number one, you're probably hydrated well enough, but two, it's no harm to feed the brain. See the way you concentrate on your muscles and your speed and your brain is 10 times more important because that'll tell everything else what to do. And everybody should be taking it because
Mm.
by all accounts, Anna, we used to be eating all sorts of wild mushrooms back in the day. They were really
Oh,
good for our whole body.
foraging. Yeah,
Foragers.
yeah.
But then that went out the fucking window. And I'm telling people to use lion's mane as quick as you can because they'll shut it down as being illegal at some stage, even though it's absolutely not in any way psychedelic or anyway has any trippy format. It's just purely good for the brain. So yeah,
Wow.
there you go. You learned something very rarely off me, but
Maybe you did say tell me about something like that before, but
I guarantee you one
oh,
of the fans, one of the listeners will go, for fuck's sake, Tom, you're fucking never shut up about these fucking things. I don't either, and I'm telling everybody about them because they can
I'm
actually
obviously not taking them then every time you mention I'm like, what's that?
the irony of
What?
They repair brain cells. They repair. Anyway, listen, let's move it on. Italy won. They were fucking class. We love Italy. I feel bad for Scotland. Ended up in fourth. I don't think they didn't play fourth as bad, if you know what I mean. They were able to get to the dance, but they couldn't get out of the fucking limo. Do you know what I mean? Every time they got there, they had the suit on, but every time they kept on catching their testicles in the zip, to quote that bit from
Oh my god.
some of them. What is happening in my brain? It's just going to the
I had
90s.
forgotten about that scene in that
Oh,
movie.
it's
Oh,
the
I haven't
grossest.
thought of that for years.
Now tell me, so
No,
have you
now
caught
it's
the Franco
back.
bean? Is it the Franco beans I'm looking at here? Franco beans, Franco beans. I'm just,
Franklin Beans.
I'm just gonna back up the train, back up the track. We
Oh
got a bleeder.
no.
And
Oh
that was
no.
essentially they brought the corsage, they talked to the father, they bought the chocolates for the mother. It was a really they'd done well almost every time. And they got it over, they got her to the dance on against England.
But then they just stood at the side and wouldn't actually
That's
dance.
it. Yeah, just sipped fucking Sidona at the
Can't.
side of the dance, wouldn't actually dance. That's exactly it. Yeah. Um, but we have the women's Six Nations starting next week, and Ireland kick off against France, like you just fucking talked about. And the
Yep.
women, it's I look, all we can hope for is a good showing. We will be covering it, of course. But I mean, who like it's a France and England kind of thing, really. But then of course Italy have what's that girl? She just mows people down. What's her name again? Playing for Wales. You know her. She's got a great name. She's got like
Oh, Cecilia Tupolato.
Tupolato. Is she Tupolato of the Tupolatos?
Yes.
Okay. Jesus
Yeah, same
Christ.
family.
My
Yeah.
God. My God. Do you
Oh,
know?
she's unreal. She's only, she must be 19 now.
Mother of
um,
God.
she's pushing on. But yeah, Ireland are playing in Le Mans, which is where the racetrack is, Le Mans
Yes,
is.
yeah, yeah.
Um, on Friday. So I'm going up. Oh, hang on. Yeah, okay, I'm going tomorrow. Oh no, Friday.
Yeah,
Yes,
today's
tomorrow.
Wednesday. Yes, yeah, yeah. Well, as people hear this tomorrow morning, Thursday morning, Anna will be in Le Mans on Friday.
Yes.
Are you going up of your own volition to see the girls and cheer them on,
I
or
am. Was I telling you about? Oh, I was telling you, but I don't think I've said it on the podcast. My plan was to cycle there.
yes, yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
Alas, my plans have changed because of where I am going next week, which you will find out, and the listeners will find out in due course. So, yes, I'm going. I can't wait. There's a few of the old girls going, like a few of the girls that I used to play with,
Brilliant.
all getting over for the crack. I feel like it's tough for Ireland because they've been in WXV3, so they
Yes.
haven't played any of these teams now since the last Six Nations, whereas all of the teams in the Six Nations have played in WXV2 or WXV1, which was just more competitive. But that was a long time ago. When I say a long time ago, it was last October. There's a lot you can kind of work on in the meantime. I actually don't even feel like Ireland needs to win if they can fucking perform well and like
Yes.
push teams and like hold teams out and defend well, like miss tackle count low, like penalty count low, good territory, hold possession. They don't even need to win. If they can take care of that, they could very much like beat Italy or Scotland. Wales are kind of still a step ahead, but still it's so hard to tell because like we haven't seen them play now since October. But uh if Ireland did avoid the wooden spoon and they managed to get a win in one of their home fixtures, because it's the same as the men, so Scotland,
Hmm.
Italy, and Wales will come to Ireland, and they're playing in Dublin, Cork, and Belfast. So that's nice. They get to like play like in different parts around the country. They will qualify for the World Cup if they avoid the wooden spoon. So there's
Really?
the top five teams in the Six Nations, because England and France have already qualified because
Um,
England are the hosts and
yes.
France. Well, and England also finished second in the World Cup. France finished third. Um, they are already qualified. Therefore, the next three spots are for grabs. So, unless you get the wooden spoon, you'll qualify for next year's World Cup
So
from the Six Nations.
so fifth or better is what we're looking for. in the out
Yeah.
of the tournament and
One
keep.
win. If we could get one win, it would be good. And then good performances across the board.
Yeah, I
Do you
mean,
know?
you know what? Who's to say that they won't catch France a little bit cold, like and like that? All I want is violence. I just want to see absolutely terrifying French women. I just want to see them being terrified. Skill
Mm,
levels as best they can, and as you said, like keep the penalty count low, because that's penalty count and maybe kick really go a bit Raj style. I'd love to see a bit. I would love to see that throughout the men's too. Do you know when things were getting a bit sticky? Go a bit Raj, ping it over the fucking
mm,
head into the corner. Just
mm.
let's stick that in your fucking pipe and let's see what you got. Do you
Yeah.
know I love, but also, and I've said about the women before. I just want to see violence. Just the
Yeah.
scariest bunch of pirate queens, just going full, like sharpening their teeth, like wanting to go to war. I'll be happy with that.
Mm.
Just that they're the scariest fuckers in the whole Six Nations.
Yeah. That's got to be managed because, like, there's
Yes,
something
obviously
about
the
kind of
penalty counts and whatnot, like, but
no, no, not even that. Not swinging legs, but like, not even, not even that. Just like blissful ignorance is great. Like, do you
yes.
know, if you don't know what France are like, or if you've never played, now so these girls, there aren't as many new caps as we kind of usually have. These girls have played before, but like, just that kind of coming into like Le Mans, like it's not a rugby town, like there's not this like, oh, we're going down to play in like Toulouse or whatever. It's just like, okay, we're here to play rugby, kind of like don't focus on the opposition too much. They've got to, you're saying about like bringing a kind of a Raj, whatever, like play whatever. They kind of have to do that because physically they're not at the same level as other
Mm.
teams, so they've got to be smart in what they do. And like kicking is one of those things that can, swing the game. Like, so exactly what you're saying. Um,
Well,
so let's see.
you look how Ireland were scuppered. I mean, we were going to, absolutely make dust of everybody after the first game, and the two teams that scuppered Ireland worst, England and Scotland, they just slowed down our
Yeah,
offensiveness. They stopped all our
yeah,
offensiveness, and we got very
yeah.
unimaginative after that. So
Do that. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Sorry, this is what was in my voice note too. I was asking you, do you want to start a fantasy team?
you sent me
Did you
on
listen
the you sent me on
to
the
the
email, and I got the email and I was opening it and I signed up, but then it wouldn't let me go back and join with you. I signed up.
I fucking created the league, created my own team, and when I went to sign in today, I was locked out. I had to create an account again. My team is gone, has disappeared. And when I signed in, it was like I looked for Banana and Bears like fucking league, and it was like you need the password,
Oh
but
my
I don't
God.
know the password because I've been locked out. So now there's a Banana and Bears rugby league that nobody can get into.
Oh, for fuck's sake. But this is the thing. Thought I was an idiot because at the time I was outside with the little fella and we were making concrete. As he was telling me, we were making concrete with some stones and water. I was like, yeah, 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 concrete. And I'm like, is this fucking phone not? But okay, all right, I'm not a complete idiot. Okay, the website shit the bed
Serious.
clearly. Yeah, okay.
Whatever happened?
That was a
So,
great intention. That was brilliant.
oh, will we be able to sort it out before this weekend? Oh, I won't because I have to.
No, I certainly won't. Anyway, I'm in Dublin tomorrow night, and where am I then? Yeah, I'm in
If we
Dublin the
figure
next
out.
2 nights.
Oh Jesus, you're no good.
No, no, fuck all you,
um,
Stu.
yeah,
We will endeavor to try. Hey, we c- we could just get somebody who's smart, who has loads of time in their hands and loves. Because the amount of times I get asked, do I have fantasy F1 teams, fantasy fucking football, fantasy rugby, and haven't involved myself in any of this kind of stuff. But
yeah.
what were you thinking?
Just like literally because you know me now, I hate fantasy rugby. I'm just not good at it. Like
Yeah,
I can't. But someone told me that she got into fantasy rugby because she had it up in her story throughout the men's tournament, and I was asking her about it, and she said she got into it because of the women's game. because it was just easier kind of like to get into it because she knew the players and stuff. So I was like, fuck, like that's a really good way of like just growing interest in the
Yeah.
game. So I was like, fuck, why don't we do our own league? And then I had all the right intentions and now I've been locked out of the league.
Oh well, look, maybe,
Do you know what I need? Is some of those some of those
you need
mushrooms.
those fucking mushrooms. That's what you need. You need mushrooms.
Oh,
Sweet
I'm so
Jesus
tired.
Christ. Hey, listen, we will be watching it regardless. But before we round up, bit of rugby news has just a small bit of rugby news. I sent it on to you, but I don't know, had you seen it of one of our players that we waxed lyrical about in previous seasons, Bernard Cock, is coming to the island of Ireland. He's going to be playing for Ulster next season. What a
Yeah,
fucking signing. One of the hardest, toughest nails in another dimension he would be playing for the Springboks. But then again, Cheslin Colby and what's the other fellow who wears the scrum cap? I mean, what are you gonna do? Like, but
yeah.
they played when he played. Was he played with the Sharks or the Bulls? Who was he with? He was with some animal
Sure,
anyway. And
sure. He
he,
played for sevens. He played sevens for years.
like any bloke who's gonna play with his hair that long, flopping in the wind, has to be hard as nails. Um, and the way was it Shane? Was it what Shane McCarthy was the chap's name? Or was it Fionn something or other? He nearly cut in half on his debut for
Oh
Munster.
yeah,
And he went back like and picked him up and like gave him a hug after cutting him in half with a tackle, like a totally legal tackle. But
yeah.
very excited to see him joining the URC properly on Irish soil because he's just a cool
Yes.
cat. And he's.
No,
Did you hear? Speaking of Ulster and Munster, Billy Burns has been
I
signed
heard
by Munster.
he's been signing his autograph.
What?
Yeah, I saw.
I suppose it's hard to know really. I mean, he can have good days and bad days, Al Burns, like, but it's a testament to young Jake Flannery who went the other way, who couldn't make the Munster squad, and they're putting their faith behind Jake Flannery, Kilfeacle's Jake Flannery, and Billy Burns has been released down to Munster.
Yeah, which is crazy, really.
Yeah, I mean, I think the idea is that he'll foster, I suppose, because he has played in big games and he's older than the two lads that are coming behind. But Jack Crowley is going to be out of commission for a hell of a lot of the seasons
Yeah,
because Jack Crowley, 24, you're going to play him in every single fucking international till he's
yeah.
34. You're just going to because he's a durable looking lad. Like, so, I can't see either one of the other Burns brothers pushing him. Uh, so
Who knows?
what you gonna do?
But also, hang on. Oh, it's another couple of weeks now. So we have Heineken Cup back.
I know,
As well.
I know. Also, I
Yeah.
mean, you've spoken about um Gavin Coombs not making the back row, whatever. Still one of my favorite players, and he's back. He's back on his
A
feet
doggy?
again. Well, Jesus Christ, sorry, I'd written a Dogbo's brother, Sean. He's next level playing at the weekend. Like my God, I think he started. Did he start at the weekend? I think he started at the weekend for the 20s. He is
Jeez, I can
going
barely
to
even remember that match. That was
he
good.
he is going to be he is incredible. But when he comes to fruition, the two brothers, the two O'Dogber brothers, are going to be next level. But it was John Hodnett is who I was mentioning.
Oh yeah.
I just love how that guy plays. My God.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, that was the
Plenty to
news on
talk
everything else. I can't wait to find out where you're off to. But this is very, very exciting because you're making it so mysterious. Normally you just go, Era, I'm in fucking wherever I am, Tom, and you don't make a big
Yeah,
deal. But now that
usually
you've made a big deal out of this, now I'm very, very excited to find out.
it's true actually. Yeah, usually it's like, okay, I'm on the way to South Africa. Um
Yeah, that's normally the way it works out.
yeah, usually it is. So yeah, actually the podcast will be coming from said
Oh,
location next week. So there'll be a time difference.
great. Yeah, great. Whatever we have to do, whatever way we'll make it work. And I dare people to take a guess if you wouldn't mind. I asked questions. Also, I asked questions too late last week, and
Yeah,
then
people said it's yeah.
yeah. Hold on. Did I send them to you? Have you got your phone there? I don't know where I left my phone.
Fair enough.
Um,
Well,
If you could scan back through, we could loosely answer. They're probably all going to be retrospective questions about things, like, but we may as well.
But
Um,
there's, I was sending you voice notes of the lads, the French lads sitting next to the camera.
yeah,
Right, hang on now.
they were screenshots of the questions I would have sent
Yeah.
probably last Monday or Tuesday, and yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
So, a question from someone called Sean. You were like, any questions for myself from Banana Cables? Someone said, ask her has she found Dave from Limerick. We haven't seen him since she destroyed him in a scrum after the Toulon game. Poor Dave claimed he slipped, but Anna minced him. Yeah, sounds about right.
Did you bury some poor bastard on the street in Toulouse or Toulon?
In Toulon, yeah. I remember when I was down for the Munster
Oh
match. Sure, I
yeah.
told
Yes, yeah, I forgot that you were ragdolling poor old normal people like around the place.
you.
Just
Owl fellas. Even though I think this fella wasn't an owl fella. A shout out to Sean and Dave if you're listening. Dave, I hope they found you alive. Um, Something about when is a knock on and when is forward pass? Is that not on? Unless it's a knock on. Oh, sorry, it's a tongue twister. I thought it was actually.
well,
It is a tongue
to answer it, when a forward pass, the forward pass when the hands leaving to pass the ball forward. But as we've seen, when lads, somebody like Ben Healy who can put an unbelievable backspin on the ball, it can sometimes travel forward, and that's none of your business. It's not your fault if your hands are traveling backwards, because it's the contentious one. It's like, well, it traveled a
Yeah,
meter. You're like, well, fuck me. When I left my hands, it was going backwards. Do you know? It was like that when
yeah,
it was fine when I left it.
yeah. Yeah, actually, this is a good question as well. If like blocking down a kick,
Yes, right. Yeah, yeah,
what's
yeah.
the line between a block down and a knock on? Like there has to be clear, like swinging motion on the leg from the person who's kicking the ball. I think. Do you know what? I actually feel like that sounds more confusing than it is because I actually think that that's quite clear cut because generally people don't complain about that when they're on about the referee afterwards. You know, if there's a knock down, a block
Yeah.
down, it's total chaos, but you'd never find people like, "Oh, what? That's so unfair." Like people are just like, "Jesus, carry on."
Yeah.
It's a good question. I had a few as well, and I don't know where they are.
They'll probably do
Mine,
for they're probably evergreen questions, are they, or in relation to the Six
oh, they
Nations.
are. No, I don't think there was anything particularly pressing, but we can discuss next week from Beep.
I just went to swish. We know we're in good weather here right now because now we have midgies, and the midgie has gotten into the office. And I went to swish it off, and while you were leaning back looking at your phone, but when you landed right where you landed, right back on the screen, I totally ended up booping you. But I kind of squished a midget on your nose.
That sounds like Beep. Um, by the fucking way,
Oh no! What bug story
this
have you got?
no, 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 it's not even bad. Even though, but I was like, I need to tell this to Tom. We've had 3 days of sunshine here in La Rochelle. Who's back?
The
The fucking
maggots.
mosquitoes.
Oh Jesus Christ!
I'm destroyed.
Go
I was
away!
cold today at 4 o'clock. I have a massive one on my knee that's after swelling. It's one of the ones that's after going hard.
Oh
I have them
Jesus!
in my arms. I have like I literally everyone's like, oh, it's sunny, and I was like, yeah. And the fucking mosquitoes are back. Like
For
I thought
fuck's
it started
sake!
bad, like on kind of sundown in July. They're back, like with a vengeance. Like they didn't even go. It's like they didn't even go home after the nightclub, i.e., winter. Like
Fucking they're on
remember
a
how
2 day
bad it was.
sesh. They're on a two
Oh,
day
do you know how
sesh.
bad we were here in La Rochelle? I was telling you that, like we were destroyed,
Yeah, I remember
destroyed,
that. Yeah.
destroyed. Like it actually makes me almost want to leave France altogether and like never play rugby here again because the insects were so bad in September when I came first last year, September. But they're already starting to bite me.
For fuck's sake! For fuck's sake! That's the protein shakes now. You see, they wouldn't eat me at all. They go bitter old bastard. He tastes like bacon and cabbage. You
Well,
see,
did they bite you if you take those mushroom things?
probably not. I'd say not. I wouldn't think
You
so.
take garlic capsules, don't you? Even though I don't want to smell like
No,
garlic.
you don't get the cheap ones from like Holland and Barrett or whatever. Get the decent ones. Trust me, and then you never do then because it's straight down the hatch.
Oh,
Um,
really?
yeah, and they're really good for colds. Really good for colds.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so get
Okay.
the half decent ones. Like give give more than fucking $5.99 for a
Okay.
bottle of them, like.
Okay,
And
so it won't smell like garlic, but I will keep the mozzies away.
oh, I don't know about yeah. Well, I mean, the French mozzies, of course, they're gonna love garlic. You're just they'll be licking you first before biting you. What do French
Maybe
people
like
hate?
not a little neckerchief, like. Oh!
Just going around. Tom, does cheese get rid of? No, they're French. Are you joking me,
What
Anna?
do French people not like?
Um, or I don't know, manners. I don't know. What are French people?
Hmm.
They're pretty rude sometimes. They're known for being rude. So maybe if you're
Mm.
walked around just being really nice, going, I love mosquitoes, guys. I love them. They're really, really nice. Mosquitoes are like, I, d- I don't feel comfortable with our
It's
level
funny.
of
It's awful.
positivity.
Yeah. Doomsday Princess.
That's it.
It's
I've no
awful.
choice. I've no choice. That's today's episode. I know you like a surprise, but that's it.
It's awful that like French people have a like a reputation of being rude, but it's just our perception
Yeah.
of what they do and say.
Yeah, but sure, I mean, same with if a French person probably landed down to West Cork and couldn't understand the word that a sheep farmer was saying to him. You're going to go,
Mm.
that man is the rudest human I've ever met.
Yeah.
Um, Not as rude
Anyway,
as that fucking movie clip you sent me on that has, oh my God. So Lindsay
oh
Lohan,
shit,
who
I'd love to
for
watch.
some reason I thought was dead, but that was Brittany Murphy, another Irish named American. It was Brittany Murphy. Poor old Brittany died she died of mold poisoning because herself and the mother bought an old house in Beverly Hills. Yeah, that was riddled, and it didn't. And she overstretched herself. Didn't have the price of doing it up. The house is mouldy to the core, and yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So they say. Now she could have been killed because she knew too many secrets about Hollywood and whatnot. But
Oh Christ.
no, Lindsay Lohan, who I think her father sued her. Her father's from Galway. I think he's a bastard. Apparently, sued her, and she's in it. But anyway, that doesn't excuse the fucking terrible movie that is now on
Well, we
Netflix.
haven't watched the movie yet. Let's see.
Well, thank you very much because I inadvertently showed it to my wife Natasha. Who went, well, that sounds absolutely beautifully dreadful. I went, you don't think I'm sitting? She goes, you have to sit and watch it if you're going to talk to Anna about it. I went, no, I'm gigging 2 nights this week. You can knock yourself out. She went, no, 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 no. We are watching this shit. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Popcorn.
yeah. That was my sideshow Bob.
Yes.
Just walked into another rake.
Sorry, we totally just didn't explain there to this. Sometimes I forget that we're actually recording a
Yeah,
podcast.
I know.
Didn't explain to the listeners what we were talking about. There's some new kind of fangled Irish film with Lindsay Lohan driving around the countryside, probably trying to look for Dublin Airport with a man.
It's
It's it.
essentially what was that other one we were talking about? Was it's not the Notebook? It was P.S. I Love
Oh,
You slash the
no.
leap year. Leap year was the
Oh,
one.
yeah, I was going to say
Yeah,
Valentine's Day, but it's not.
yeah,
It's leap year. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Probably cost 42 million to make as well. Like, and I just saw 2 or 3 clips, and it was like one was her getting off this bus that seems like it's out of should be out of commission, let alone fucking out of a museum. But of course, all
I
Irish people get off buses like that.
I wonder, do people suffer from Paris syndrome when they come to Ireland? Do you know about Paris syndrome?
It's where they have a notion of Paris, and it's not at all like that.
Yes, so
Yeah.
people actually go into shock, like physically get physically ill when they come to not just Paris, but Paris is known for it. People get physically like overcome with anxiety and like shock that Paris is overrun with
You say
rats.
you say
There's the
people
metro.
only one nationality would be that fucking gullible. Like there's nobody from fucking
Are you
from
about to say America?
of course Americans.
No,
There's
it's Asian tourists. Asian tourists are typically suffer from it.
of course
Um,
I guess it's so far removed from what they know, I guess.
yeah, 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 yeah. And like I suppose from Japan, like I don't know. It depends where you're from, but it's typically Asian tourists that suffer from this. I wonder, do people get it when they come to Ireland? And I actually was only having this conversation with myself in my head today about this exact
It's a
scenario.
great place to have it.
Do people, well, I live on my own, so do pee. It's just the fucking mosquitoes. I'd be
I
talking
don't even
otherwise.
put these podcasts out, Anna. I just record it for you, just so you have somebody to talk to.
In English because I can't talk to people in French anymore. But like people have this image of like, the west of Ireland, but then they come to Dublin. It's
Yeah,
like,
and they meet somebody.
Germany's where change love.
You don't even need to get that far. Just be leaving Dublin Airport. Look for a taxi.
I
Yeah,
read
what?
a tweet. I read a tweet that was like, someone arrived at Dublin Airport. It was an Irish person that sent the tweet, and they're like, I felt so sorry for the person, for the American person I overheard in Dublin Airport today. That was like, now where's the
Yeah, yeah. Well, here if you can think of the polar opposite of that situation, we once did it, and this will tell you this is the opposite to fucking to Paris syndrome. It's so sad. We had spent all of our lives traveling out of Cork and Dublin Airport, where it's a nightmare to get to either one of them. There is no public transport. That we were flying to Austria. No, we were flying to Munich because it was the only way we could fly to Munich, and we needed to get up to Austria to a place called Zellamsee. We were going skiing for a week, and we went, well, logically, the only way to do that is to hire a jeep because that's the best yoke to travel in the snow. Then it was going to sit there for a fucking week and do nothing, this Jeep. In Munich airport, walking up along the fucking place, just about to get our Ava's car, whatever it was. I went, hold on. Where do those steps lead? Leading down there, the giant set of steps. Is that a train station under the airport? Oh, lads, just for 1 second, let me run down. Oh, for fuck's sake, lads. LMZ is actually on the fucking yoke below. We could just get the fucking train, lads. We go back up to try and cancel our car. They were like, of course, you can cancel the car, but we're going to charge you for it regardless. All right, we'll just take the fucking car. And we drove the whole way to Austria from Munich, just fucking, all of us just looking out the windows, fuming, going, well, for fuck's sake. Well, I guess we were seeing some of this countryside. Our naivety, Anna, meant we didn't believe that there was possibly going to be an apt level of public transport. Of course, they built the fucking train station under the airport. Of course they did. Of course they did. Because it's a logical place to put it.
every
Not,
European city has done it?
yeah. And this was like
Every
2000 and whatever, 2006. Like, this is
Oh yeah.
naivety fucking times 500.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
That is
Thank
hilarious.
God we didn't say it out loud we didn't say it to anybody. We just went, is it possible to cancel our car? And then we all just looked at each other and went, don't tell this again for another 17 years. And now I've said
Now,
it publicly on the podcast or whatever it was. But yeah, the shame of it when you think of it. We just all looked at each other as grown men. We were all in management and construction. We all had responsible jobs. We all looked at each other.
Jesus.
There was no mention of stopping at the shop even for sweeties or not. We just said, let's just drive to the fucking place and just never speak at this moment again.
I went to Zelensee on the train.
Of course you fucking did. Did you
In
fly into
Vienna.
Munich by any chance? Not.
No, Vienna.
Oh, sure. Look, same thing,
But
only different.
yes, actually yes. Yeah.
Did you
Cool.
ski when you were there?
Oh yeah.
Did
It
you
was an
meet?
Erasmus trip.
Did you? Do you know that mountain is owned by the Porsche family? Yeah, that's how wealthy. You don't even have to sell cars anymore. You can just buy a mountain and stick some fucking gates on it and charge people money to go up your mountain. There you go.
It's like Ireland owning like
It's like charging people to see the Cliffs of Moher. Oh wait,
well
yeah.
well
Did it
well
not have it?
you need to pay for a ski pass anyway.
Yeah, yeah. To get up
Yeah.
their mountain, you're not going to ski down in the fucking down the yard.
But if you don't need to ski, do you
No,
have to pay?
to get through the gates. Yeah,
Are there gates to the mountain?
yeah.
Interesting.
Big fucking gates. I know both of us are trying to rack our minds here. Oh Jesus. Anyway, listen,
But
this is the most rugby adjacent podcast we've ever attempted. We talked almost no rugby whatsoever. A bit in the middle. A bit in the middle.
we did.
Ah, we
We
did, we
did.
did, we did. We kept it
Punctuation,
light.
real life problems.
We'll circle back to that anyway when the women's when we back excited again at the start of another Six Nations because it's starting next weekend with the women up against France.
This
Like we
weekend,
said,
we'll have Le Mans syndrome.
Le Mans syndrome.
Meow.
Right, I look forward to seeing where or finding out possibly guesses, answers on a postcard, please, and send them to Dublin 4. That's what they used to say on the Dane. Send them
Yo,
to
boss.
send them now. You can send them to the internet. Send them right to us on the internet where you think Anna is going to be going. I can't. The fact that you're not telling me makes no sense. It makes no sense because you've been fucking everywhere. So I'm excited. I'm excited. Um, it's
Do you
fucking
have a guess?
Tipperary.
You're allowed to guess 3 places and I won't give it away.
Okay, I didn't say Tipperary. Airbnb. But it's like there's nothing is off the cards for you. Nothing. No distance is off the cards for you. Um, okay. I'm just gonna guess countries. I'm not gonna guess cities.
Yeah.
America. Um, Japan and New Zealand. I mean, I've stretched it out now. In all fairness, I have stretched it out literally to the 3 of the points of the world. Listeners, you have a go. Narrow it down. Maybe give us a city, even if you want to. Um, I'll be going to Dublin. That's it. As far as I go, that's it. I'm going to Dublin a few times. Uh, other than that, I think safely I'll be just doing gigs here. But look it till we see next week. Oh, we got several suggestions on the ruck thing. We've kind of run over all of them. What was our
Look
one
at the
last? They were all like, "Fucking go ruck yourself," you know.
Mind the rocks.
Mind the rucks. Yeah, I like it. I still like it.
I kind of go and fought it headwise as well, saying good look at the ruck. But whatever kind of comes naturally, you know. Mind the rocks.
So we're all racist now, Father. Right. Mind the
I'm
rucks.
not.
It's the banana